Folks, let's be real. When a woman wants an older man, she never says it out loud. She tests him. Most men over 40 or 50 don't even notice the moment it happens. You think she is just being polite, making small talk, or asking something random. But my friend, she is not. Women never test a man without a reason, especially not a man with age, experience, and the kind of presence that younger guys simply can't compete with. Here is the problem. Many older men miss the signs because they assume attraction should look obvious. They expect clear flirting, bold moves, direct interest. But women who crave a mature man play on a different field. Their desire comes wrapped in curiosity, subtle questions, and quiet signals that are easy to ignore unless you know exactly what to look for. And here is where things get interesting. When a woman wants intimacy with an older man, she uses two questions, always the same two, hidden in plain sight. If you understand what these questions really mean, you stop guessing. You stop overthinking. You start seeing her desire for what it is. And once you see it, you will never miss the moment again. You are about to learn those two questions and how to respond like a man she cannot resist. Let's get into it. Number 1. Her first question when she wants you. My friend, when a woman is drawn to an older man, she rarely shows it directly. She asks something that sounds casual, harmless, even friendly. But beneath that softness is desire, curiosity, and a quiet invitation. The first question she uses is simple. She asks about your alone time. It may sound like, do you spend a lot of time by yourself? Or do you usually go out alone? On the surface, it is nothing. Underneath it is everything. Let's make this real. Mark is 54, divorced for 3 years, getting his life back together. One afternoon at a farmer's market in Ohio, he meets Rachel, 46, warm smile, calm energy. They talk for 3 minutes about coffee beans, nothing special. But then she tilts her head and asks, do you usually come here alone? Mark thinks she is just making conversation. What he doesn't realize is that she is checking for space in his world. She wants to know if he has room for someone like her to step in. Women do not test men randomly. A woman only asks about your solitude when she is imagining herself beside you. She wants to know if you live like a guarded fortress or a man who stands strong but still has space for connection. She does not want to crash into a life that is already full of noise, chaos, or emotional clutter. She wants to feel that getting closer to you is possible. Older men often miss this. They answer too literally. They talk about their schedule, their errands, their daily routines. That is not what she is asking. She is testing your emotional availability. She is asking, if I move toward you, will you notice? Will there be room for me? A man who understands this does not give a technical answer. He gives an answer with presence. Something like, I enjoy my space, but I'm always open to the right company. This shows strength without desperation. It shows independence without isolation. Think of another example. David, 59, meets Laura, 52, at a friend's backyard gathering in Arizona. They talk under the string lights, slow and steady. Laura laughs at his dry humor, touches her necklace and asks, do you spend most evenings alone? David shrugs and says he stays busy with work. She smiles politely, but inside she loses interest. She wasn't asking about his workload. She was asking whether his life has emotional oxygen. If David had said, I enjoy my evenings, but I don't shut the door on good company, she would have leaned closer. Women are drawn to men who are peaceful, not lonely, open, not empty, strong, not stiff. This question is her way of checking if there is space for intimacy to grow. Women do not ask it when they feel nothing. They ask it when they are imagining something. And once you see this pattern, you stop missing the moments that used to slip past you. If you have ever noticed this question in your own life, type, I have seen this. Stick with me because this is just the beginning. Number 2. Why she asks about your alone time. Folks, let's be real. When a woman asks an older man about his alone time, she is not trying to fill silence. She is not curious about your schedule, your hobbies, or how often you sit on the couch after work. She is reading something much deeper. A woman uses this question to understand your emotional landscape. She wants to know if your life has space, not emptiness, presence, not isolation. She wants to know whether stepping closer to you would feel natural, or whether she would have to fight her way into a crowded or chaotic world. Most men miss this because they think the question is literal. They give literal answers. They talk about errands, projects, routines, or how often they travel. But the question is never about the logistics of your life. It is about the energy of your life. Women read emotional space the way men read body language. They feel when a man has created a life that is grounded, peaceful, and open. They also feel when a man is closed, distant, or emotionally unavailable. A woman never wants to invest her desire into a man who is locked inside his own world. She wants to know if you can let someone in without losing your stability. That is why this question matters so much more to an older man. Younger men often drown in distraction. Older men drown in routine. She is testing to see if you are alive inside your own days, or simply passing time in quiet survival. If your life is nothing but solitude, she worries you are numb. If your life is packed with noise, she worries there is no space for her. She is looking for balance. A man who stands steady on his own, but is still reachable. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that the soul becomes dyed by its thoughts. When a woman asks about your alone time, she is trying to understand the color of your inner world. Are you alone because you enjoy reflection, clarity, and peace? Or are you alone because you avoid connection? Are you someone who uses solitude to grow, or someone who uses solitude to hide? These differences matter more to women than most men ever realize. When a woman is drawn to a mature man, she imagines a certain kind of presence. Calm, aware, steady. She wants a man who has lived enough life to know himself, but not so much that he has shut down. If your solitude has sharpened you, she feels it. If your solitude has hardened you, she feels that too. She is not checking whether you spend time alone, but what that time has shaped inside you. Men often say they want feminine softness, feminine warmth, feminine desire, but that energy cannot move toward a man who feels locked away. Women do not want to push through walls. They want to feel a natural opening. They want to sense that if they lean in emotionally, you will feel it. That is why a simple question about alone time tells her more than hours of conversation. So when she asks it, do not panic and do not over-explain. Answer with intention. Answer with awareness. Show that your solitude is a choice, not a wound. Show that you enjoy your space, but you are open to someone who brings meaning, not noise. If you have ever felt a woman ask this question with a different energy type, I have felt that. Stay with me, because you do not want to miss what comes next. Number 3. How her questions expose her desire. Let me level with you, my friend. A woman who feels drawn to an older man almost never shows it the way men expect. She doesn't lean in with obvious flirting. She doesn't confess interest, and she doesn't lay out her feelings like a map. Instead, she asks small questions that carry heavy meaning. Questions that sound innocent on the surface, but reveal exactly what she is feeling underneath. And if you pay attention, those questions tell you far more about her desire than any bold move ever could. Take a moment and picture this. Michael is 58, steady career, steady life. A man who has rebuilt himself after a tough divorce. One Friday evening, he meets Emily, 48, at a community cooking class in San Diego. They talk casually while chopping vegetables. Nothing dramatic. But then she looks up, holds his eyes a second longer than usual and says, "Do you usually keep to yourself, or do you enjoy company?" It sounds simple, yet the tone is soft, the timing intentional, and the curiosity unmistakable. She is not asking about carrots or recipes. She is opening a door to see whether he steps through. Women do this constantly. They use questions as emotional feelers. They study how you react when the topic touches on intimacy, space, direction, or connection. When she asks about your alone time or your outlook on life, she is not gathering facts. She is watching your inner world move. Her question exposes her desire because she is not indifferent. Indifference does not ask. Attraction always does. Another example. Robert, 51, widowed for several years, decides to join a weekend hiking group in Colorado. On the trail he meets Sarah, 45. Sharp eyes, relaxed confidence, the kind of woman who knows exactly what she feels, but won't show it first. During a break, they talk about mountain views, the weather, all the usual small things. Then she asks, "Do you like having someone to share days like this with?" Again, harmless on the surface. But the subtext is deep. She is imagining herself beside him. She is trying to see whether he carries emotional openness or emotional distance. She wants to know if connection would feel natural or forced. And here is the part most men miss. These questions do not come from curiosity alone. They come from vulnerability. Women do not risk emotional exposure unless something inside them is already leaning toward you. When she is attracted, she needs to know two things. First, can you sense her cues? Second, can you hold her interest without collapsing into either coldness or neediness? Her questions test that balance. They test your awareness, your calmness, your masculine presence. A woman who feels nothing will never bother asking about your inner life. She won't care how you spend your evenings, whether you feel lonely or peaceful, or what direction your life is heading. But when she is drawn to you, every small question becomes a window. She wants to understand whether you are a man with emotional gravity, someone she can feel safe leaning toward. Her desire hides inside her curiosity, and her curiosity appears inside her questions. If you have ever seen a woman reveal herself this way, type, "I have seen this." Stay tuned, because the next part goes even deeper. Number 4. The true meaning behind her test. Listen closely, my friend. When a woman asks an older man those subtle questions about his alone time, his routines, or the direction of his life, she is not running a casual conversation. She is running a quiet assessment, a deep emotional test, and most men misunderstand it entirely. They think she is being curious, polite, or simply filling space. But a woman who feels drawn to a mature man is measuring something much bigger. She is evaluating your inner stability, your emotional readiness, and whether stepping toward you would feel like stepping into strength or stepping into chaos. Here is what most men never realize. Women do not test your words, they test your awareness. They want to see if you pick up on subtleties. They want to feel that you can sense the moment, sense the energy, and respond with calm confidence. A woman does not need you to perform. She needs you to be present, and that is exactly what her questions reveal. She is not trying to trick you. She is trying to understand you. In the psychology of attraction, especially between a younger woman and an older man, these tests are never about catching you doing something wrong. They are about confirming whether you live with intention or whether life has simply carried you along. She wants to know if you are grounded, if you are emotionally alive, if you are capable of holding connection without collapsing into neediness or drifting into distance. And the only way she can find that out without exposing herself is by asking questions that sound simple but pierce deep. This is why Stoic philosophy fits perfectly into this moment. Marcus Aurelius said that a man's worth is measured by the things he chooses to pay attention to. When a woman tests you, she is seeing what you notice. Do you rush through the moment with a quick answer, or do you show steady awareness? Do you hide behind logic, or do you respond with clarity and presence? She is searching for a man whose internal world is calm enough to hold emotion without being shaken by it. That is what separates a boy from a man and a man from a mature, grounded presence. Seneca also wrote that no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he has never allowed himself to grow. Women sense this. They feel when a man has been through life and rebuilt himself without bitterness. They feel when solitude has strengthened him rather than hardened him. Her test is not about whether you spend nights alone. It is about what those nights have shaped in you. Peace or numbness, strength or stagnation, depth or avoidance. When she tests you, she is asking one central question beneath all the others. If I step closer, will you be able to meet me there? And that question matters more to her than any romantic fantasy. Women do not move toward uncertainty. They move toward emotional clarity. They move toward men who know what they stand for. They move toward men who carry stillness in their presence and purpose in their direction. If you understand this, you stop taking her tests personally and start seeing them for what they are, an invitation disguised as curiosity. If this message is speaking to you, type, "I want this." Stay with me, because the next part reveals exactly what she asks when attraction becomes unmistakable. And my friend, before we continue, if you want deeper guidance and exclusive lessons I don't share publicly, consider joining the channel membership. You will get private content designed for men just like you, who want to master Stoic strength, masculine presence, and real connection. Let's keep going. Number 5. Her deeper question when attraction heats up. My friend, when a woman feels that quiet spark toward an older man, her curiosity doesn't fade, it deepens. Her questions shift from surface-level interest to something warmer, bolder, and far more revealing. And the moment you hear this second question, you should understand exactly what is happening. She is no longer wondering if you have space in your life. She is wondering if she should move into that space. The deeper question she asks is simple. What are you looking for these days? It may come out as, what do you want at this stage of your life? Or, what direction are you heading right now? To most men, it sounds like polite conversation. But when attraction heats up, this is the moment she steps closer without exposing herself completely. It is her way of saying, if I get involved with you, where is this going? She wants to understand whether you live with direction or whether you drift from day to day. A woman cannot desire a man she cannot trust emotionally, and trust begins with clarity. Let's bring this into the real world so you can see it clearly. In Florida, James, 57, meets Olivia, 50, at a small outdoor jazz event. They sit near each other, share a light joke, and feel that comfortable tension people feel when chemistry is real. After a few minutes of talking about music and work, Olivia's smile softens. She tilts slightly toward him and asks, "So what are you looking for these days?" James gives a vague answer about taking life as it comes, and just like that, her energy shifts. She nods politely but pulls back inside herself. He didn't fail her test because of what he said. He failed because he showed no direction. Attraction cannot survive directionless energy. Now picture a different moment. In Seattle, Andrew, 60, meets Claire, 54, through mutual friends. They talk near a patio heater as the evening cools. Claire studies him with that subtle interest women have when they see maturity mixed with confidence. Then she asks, "At this stage of your life, what matters most to you?" Andrew doesn't hesitate. He keeps it calm and grounded. "I'm building a simpler, stronger chapter. I'm open to the right connection, nothing forced." Claire's eyes soften. That answer tells her everything. He is not drifting. He is not desperate. He is intentional. And intention is deeply attractive to a woman who is evaluating emotional possibility. This question matters because it reveals her fear and her longing at the same time. She does not want to attach herself to a man who is stuck in the past, emotionally tangled or lacking direction. She also doesn't want to open her heart to a man who treats life like a random accident. Women want to feel that their desire is moving toward a man who knows who he is and where he is going. Not someone perfect, someone steady. When she asks what you are looking for, she is gauging whether connection with you would feel safe or chaotic. She wants to understand whether you can meet her emotionally, not just physically. She wants to see whether your life has room, not only for her presence, but for her heart. And here's the truth most older men never hear. Your answer shapes her desire. If you sound lost, she retreats. If you sound rigid, she freezes. But if you sound clear, intentional, and grounded, she relaxes into the possibility of you. That is what makes this question so powerful. If you've heard this question before and finally understand its real meaning, type, "I have seen this." Stay tuned, because what comes next will connect all these pieces in a way most men never experience. Number 6. What she wants from an older man. Let me speak to you straight, my friend. When a woman is drawn to an older man, she is not chasing youth chaos or fast thrills. She is looking for something deeper, something steadier, something she cannot find in men who are still figuring out who they are. Her attraction is not random. It is shaped by emotional psychology, female instinct, and the quiet longing for a certain kind of masculine presence that only maturity can deliver. Here is the truth most men never hear. A woman who asks those subtle questions about your alone time and the direction of your life is not just curious. She is evaluating whether you hold the qualities she craves. Not perfection, not performance. Presence. A grounded, steady presence that tells her she can exhale around you instead of brace herself. Younger men often bring intensity but not depth. Noise but not intention. Excitement but not awareness. An older man, when he has lived well, carries something different. He carries internal direction. And direction is magnetic. This is exactly why her questions matter. She is trying to understand not just what you want, but who you are underneath your habits, routines, and history. She wants to know whether your solitude has shaped wisdom or whether it has shaped walls. She wants to know whether your life has a path or whether you are wandering without clarity. A woman does not care about the size of your world. She cares about the quality of it. If she steps into it, will she feel steady or lost? Stoic philosophy fits into this perfectly. Epictetus taught that a man is not shaped by what happens to him, but by how he responds to what happens. Women sense this immediately. They feel whether an older man has allowed life to strengthen him or break him. They feel whether he holds his emotions with calm authority or hides behind silence and routine. They feel whether he has grown wiser or simply grown older. A woman wants a man who has faced adversity without becoming bitter. That is the difference between maturity and age. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes flexible when it stays aligned with its purpose. Women look for this alignment. They can feel when a man is living on purpose instead of drifting in circles. They can feel when a man has learned to choose peace over drama, clarity over confusion, and intention over impulse. That is what she wants. Not a savior, not a showman, a man whose life has direction and whose presence has weight. She also wants emotional awareness. Not emotional dumping, not emotional chaos, but emotional steadiness. She wants to feel that if she opens up, you won't panic, shut down, or become overly eager. She wants a man who can sense her without smothering her, guide her without controlling her, and meet her without losing himself. That balance is rare, and rare is attractive. When a woman is drawn to an older man, desire for her is not just physical, it is psychological. She wants depth, she wants clarity. She wants a man who lives with intention, not a man who hides behind his history. Her questions are simply her way of checking whether you hold the qualities she hopes for before she lets her guard down. If this resonates with you, type, "I want this." Stay with me because the next part reveals the signals she gives when her attraction becomes undeniable. Number 7. Signs she craves you more than she shows. Let me tell you something straight, folks. When a woman is drawn to an older man, she rarely reveals everything she feels. Women don't show desire the way men expect. They don't announce it. They don't make bold moves. They reveal it in quiet signals, in subtle shifts, in small changes that most men overlook. And if you don't know how to read these signals, you will miss moments that could have changed everything. Let's make this real with an example. In Denver, Thomas, 56, meets Julia, 49, at a weekend art workshop. They sit at the same table, working with clay, sharing casual conversation, nothing dramatic. But slowly, Julia begins to reveal something. She asks him questions that drift toward personal territory. She lets silence linger instead of rushing to fill it. She angles her body just enough toward him to show comfort without being obvious. These are signs, not random behavior, signals of attraction wrapped in subtlety. She may not say she feels drawn to him, but her presence says it for her. Women who crave an older man give themselves away in small ways. Their eyes soften when they look at you. Their voice becomes warmer, smoother, more curious. They lean in slightly, not enough to make it obvious, but enough for you to feel the shift. They ask questions they do not need answers to. Do you come here often? What made you choose this place? Do you enjoy doing things like this alone? These questions are not random. They are emotional openings disguised as casual curiosity. Here's something most men never notice. A woman who feels nothing keeps conversation on the surface. But a woman who is drawn to you tests emotional depth. She watches how you respond to moments where connection could grow. She sees whether you hold eye contact calmly or whether you break it out of nervousness. She pays attention to whether your energy feels grounded or restless. She feels without you saying a word whether your presence makes her relax or tighten. Let's look at another example, this time from Texas. Daniel, 61, attends a friend's birthday dinner. At the table, he meets Melissa, 53, sophisticated, self-assured, the kind of woman who doesn't waste time on men who can't match her energy. Throughout the evening, she asks him small questions about his life, but the real signal comes later. When the group stands to leave, she lingers near him. She adjusts her jacket slowly, giving him space to speak if he wants to. She touches her wrist lightly while talking, a sign of soft vulnerability. She mirrors his tone without even realizing it. These behaviors may look subtle, but they are full of meaning. Women don't mirror men they feel indifferent toward. They mirror men they desire. When women crave an older man, their desire shows up in micro behaviors, not dramatic moves. She positions herself where conversation with you becomes easy. She listens more closely than she pretends to. She asks about your outlook, your habits, your days. She looks for signs of emotional availability without exposing herself too soon. She gives you opportunities to notice her, but never so much that she risks feeling rejected. A woman's desire often looks like gentle curiosity. It looks like warmth in her voice, softness in her eyes, or a small shift in her posture when you speak. You just have to pay attention. If you have seen these signs before, type, "I have seen this." Stay tuned, because the next part reveals the mindset that pulls her even closer. Number 8. The mindset that pulls her closer. My friend, let me talk to you clearly. When a woman is drawn to an older man, the thing that pulls her in is not charm, not money, not good looks. It is mindset. It is the way you carry yourself. It is the way your presence feels when she steps into your space. A woman reads your mindset long before she reads your words. And if you want to understand her attraction, you need to understand the inner posture that draws her closer without effort. The first part of this mindset is simple. You live with intention instead of drifting. Women can feel this instantly. A man who drifts through his days gives off emotional fog. A man who knows who he is and what he values gives off clarity. Clarity is magnetic. Attraction grows where direction exists. When she asks those subtle questions, she is trying to feel whether you live with purpose or whether you are letting life move you toward nothing. This connects directly to Stoic philosophy. Epictetus taught that no man is free until he can command himself. Women feel that self-command. They feel when you respond instead of react. They feel when your emotions are steady instead of unstable. They feel when you listen with awareness instead of filling silence with noise. A woman moves closer when she senses that your inner world is not chaotic. Another part of this mindset is emotional presence. Many men confuse presence with talk. Presence is not talking. Presence is paying attention. When she speaks, you hear her. When she asks a question, you sense the message inside it. Marcus Aurelius said the soul becomes dyed by its thoughts. When your thoughts are calm, grounded, and focused, your energy becomes calm, grounded, and focused. A woman feels this immediately. She feels safe, leaning toward a man who thinks clearly. A third part of the mindset is self-respect. Not arrogance, not ego, true self-respect. You do not chase validation. You do not scramble for approval. You do not treat her attention like a prize you need to earn. You treat it like a connection that can grow only if both people bring something meaningful. This mindset removes pressure. Women feel drawn to men who do not beg for closeness, but welcome it. Here is something most men overlook. A woman does not want to be the center of your life. She wants to be part of a life that already has depth. She wants to add to your world, not become your world. That is why a balanced mindset matters. If you lean back too far, she feels you are unavailable. If you lean in too hard, she feels smothered. The mindset that pulls her closer sits right in the middle, solid, open, steady. A final part of this mindset is emotional readiness. She is looking for signs that you have processed your past, instead of carrying it like heavy luggage. She wants to feel that you are not stuck in old wounds or old habits. She wants to sense that your solitude has strengthened you, not hardened you. Women want to move toward a man who has done his inner work. If this speaks to you, type, "I want this." Let's keep going because you do not want to miss what comes next. Number 9. How to answer in a way that turns her on. Let me talk to you like a brother, because this part matters more than most men realize. When a woman asks those subtle questions about your alone time, about what you're looking for these days, about where your life is headed, she is not collecting data. She is feeling your energy. And the way you answer can either pull her closer or push her away without you noticing. A weak answer shuts the door. A grounded masculine answer opens it, warms it, and yes, my friend, it turns her on in a way that is subtle but unmistakable. Let's make this real with a situation you can picture clearly. In Virginia, Stephen, 58, attends a weekend wine tasting event. He ends up talking with Caroline, 51. Sharp eyes, soft smile, the kind of woman who signals interest without broadcasting it. After a few minutes of light conversation, she asks him one of those deeper questions. Do you usually spend your weekends alone? Stephen shrugs and says, Yeah, mostly. I just keep to myself. And just like that, the air drops. He thinks he's being honest, but to her, it sounds like emotional withdrawal. It sounds like a man who has nothing happening inside his life. It doesn't excite her. It doesn't open anything. It doesn't invite possibility. But imagine a different version of the same moment. Caroline asks the same question, but this time Stephen answers with intention. He pauses, smiles calmly and says, I enjoy my space, but I'm always open to good company when it feels right. Now her shoulders relax, her smile warms, because that answer hits all the things she wants to feel. Strength without loneliness, openness without neediness. A life she can step into without feeling like she'll drown or disappear. Women are drawn to the space between those two energies. They want a man who is self-sufficient, but still emotionally alive. A man who enjoys solitude, but not as an escape. A man who welcomes closeness, but does not cling to it. Your answer should reflect that balance. Here's another example. In Minnesota, Richard, 62, runs into Angela, 56, at a friend's backyard gathering. They talk about travel, work, family. Then she leans in slightly and asks the deeper question, "What are you looking for these days?" Richard laughs nervously and says, "Oh, I haven't really thought about it." She nods, but inside she steps back, not because he said the wrong words, but because his answer revealed no direction. Attraction cannot breathe in uncertainty. But picture Richard answering with presence. He looks at her relaxed, steady, and says, "I'm building a simpler chapter. I'm open to connection that feels natural." That answer sends a message she feels immediately. He knows himself. He moves with intention. He leaves space for her without throwing his entire heart into her hands. And that, my friend, is the kind of energy that stirs a woman's desire long before anything physical ever happens. The key is this: your answer must reveal calm confidence, not performance, not oversharing, not pretending to be someone you're not. Speak with direction, speak with ease. Speak with the tone of a man who is already whole, not a man hoping she will complete him. And remember, a woman moves toward the man who makes her feel something. Your answers should make her feel safe, curious, and warm toward the possibility of you. If any of this feels familiar, type "I have felt that." Don't go anywhere, because what comes next brings everything together in a way that changes how you see every woman who tests you. Number 10. When she decides you are the man she wants. My friend, this is the moment every man hopes for, but few men ever notice as it is happening. A woman does not decide all at once. She arrives at that decision slowly, quietly, through a series of feelings she does not say out loud. When a woman wants an older man, her final decision is never based on one answer, one moment, or one spark. It is based on the emotional picture she builds of you piece by piece. And when that picture becomes clear, she stops testing and starts choosing. A woman decides you are the man she wants the moment she feels two things at the same time. First, she feels safe around you. Second, she feels alive around you. Safety without aliveness feels flat. Aliveness without safety feels unstable. You are the man she wants when she senses both. And trust me, she pays attention to these feelings long before she ever shows them. When she reaches this point, her behavior changes in ways that are small but unmistakable. Her guard softens, her tone warms, her questions shift from cautious curiosity to natural connection. She is no longer evaluating your emotional availability. She is imagining how it would feel to move deeper into your world. She starts letting you see the more vulnerable parts of her. She stops hiding her interest behind polite conversation. You will notice she begins initiating small moments. She shares more freely. She asks you things only a woman with intention would ask. She shows you her real laugh instead of her polite one. This shift happens because she now trusts your presence. She trusts the steadiness in your voice. She trusts your direction. She trusts the emotional balance you carry. Women do not choose men based on excitement alone. They choose based on how a man makes their nervous system feel. When you speak, she relaxes instead of tensing. When you share, she becomes curious instead of guarded. When you listen, she feels heard instead of studied. And here is something most men do not understand. When a woman chooses an older man, it is not because he tries harder. It is because he lives in a way that feels grounded. She sees purpose in your eyes instead of confusion. She sees calm confidence instead of insecurity. She sees emotional depth instead of emotional chaos. She sees a man who has lived enough life to know who he is and know what he stands for. That brings her closer than anything else you could offer. Eventually, her questions become invitations. Her curiosity becomes clarity. Her energy becomes direct. She decides you are the man she wants when she no longer wonders who you are. She sees it, she feels it, she trusts it, and trust is the deepest doorway into a woman's desire. By this point, she is not evaluating you anymore. She is imagining you, imagining your presence in her life, imagining how it feels to walk beside you, imagining the quiet strength you bring into a room. And when a woman starts imagining a future with a man, even a small one, she has already made her decision in her heart. That is when you stop being the man she tests and become the man she chooses. You've just learned the real psychology behind the two questions women use when they want an older man, why those questions matter, the signals hidden inside them, and how to answer in a way that builds desire instead of killing it. If you understand these moments, you stop guessing and start seeing women with clarity and confidence. If you want deeper guidance, private lessons, and content I don't share publicly, consider joining the channel membership. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the videos that help you strengthen your mindset and your relationships. Thank you for watching, my friend. I'll see you tomorrow.